It's MC Monty in the place to be. Welcome to the adventures of MC Monty. This video is all about Val Zod, Superman, Earth 2. Let's go. To kick off summer, my partner and I went to Superman Celebration this year for the first time, and we won the cosplay contest. I was wearing Val Zod, Superman, Earth 2, and Dana was wearing Wonder Woman. So I'll show you how I made this cosplay in this video. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe and check out any of my previous tutorials. This video is a cut and sew video and a little bit of foam work with EVA foam. This is a level 2 video. As usual, everything you need is listed in the description below. Let's gather our supplies and let's get to it. I start by cutting out the back of my leotard top. I'm using a leotard pattern to make the top and a tights pattern to make the bottoms. So I cut out the leotard. I lay my fabric on the fold, just enough fold to cut out the fabric, so to cut out this pattern so I don't waste fabric. And I'm doing this method because I got tired of complete bodysuits with the zipper in the back and having somebody to have to zip me up the back and unzip me for me to use the bathroom. Now I'm cutting out the sleeve, but making a leotard and separate tights makes it easier to go to the bathroom and easier to put on my cosplay. Now Now I'm going to sew the shoulder seams, the front and back together at the shoulder seam. And excuse my hair being in the way, I didn't realize I was that close to the camera. After the shoulder seams are sewn together, I'm going to cut out a strip of fabric and create a closed collar. So I'm using this to create a finish on the collar. So I just pin my fabric into place and I sew it along the collar, the opening of the neck. And then after this first stitch is laid down, I fold over the piece of fabric and stitch again. Make sure the tension is not too tight so that your fabric doesn't get stretched out of place. It's a little bit longer than I need, so I just cut off the extra. Then I fold over and finish the collar. Next, I'm going to pin my sleeve into position and sew on my sleeve. I start at the center and I sew down one side of the sleeve. Then I flip the fabric over and I sew down from the center down the other side of the sleeve. Now my sleeve is attached. Next, I'm going to hem the bottom of the leotard. So I just fold over about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch and create a hem. Next, I'm going to hem the sleeve and then sew the sleeve closed and down the side of the body closed. So first I'm hemming the sleeve and then I sew the sleeve closed and from the wrist all the way down the body. And now my leotard top is complete. Next, I'm going to use Velcro to close the crotch of the leotard. And if you have snaps, you can use sew-in snaps. Next, I'm placing Velcro for the cape. I'm going to sew the Velcro down to the shoulders so later I can attach the cape. Next, I'm going to create the cape. I am making a mark 10 inches down the side of my fabric, and I'm making a mark at 3 inches in, and then when I cut it out, that'll create the neckline. So I'm cutting out that U shape to create the neckline. Now I'm tracing the design of my cape, how I want the cape to flow. Val Zod's cape has this point at the bottom, so I'm cutting that design out. And lastly, I am going to create some folds, some pleats in my cape and pin it together. And this is me trying it on and make sure everything's gonna fit properly and align properly. And now I'm gonna sew my pleats into place. So I'm just using a regular straight stitch for this. Then I'm gonna cut off the extra fabric. Now I am sewing my Velcro. Sorry, now I am hemming. I'm hemming the neckline of the cape. So it's all finished and hemmed. And then next I'm gonna sew my Velcro onto the pleats. So I sewed my Velcro down onto my pleat. If that fabric is kind of thick, so I had to work through it. And then I folded it over and sewed it one more time so that the Velcro will be facing the other Velcro so I can attach the cape. When it's done, it will look like this. And you can attach your cape to your top. Next, I'm going to make the tights. So I'm using my tights pattern to cut out my tights. I'm just laying two layers of fabric down on top of each other and then tracing and cutting out my pattern for my tights. I'm going to fold one leg of the tights together and then sew down from the crotch down to the ankle. So first that was me hemming the bottom of the pants leg. So I hemmed the pants, then I sewed the tights closed. And I stopped at the crotch. Do that for both legs, and then you're going to put one leg inside the other leg, good sides facing good sides, and line up the crotch. And you're going to sew in a U shape all around the crotch to close the crotch. Sew all around the crotch in a U shape to complete the tights. Now your tights are sewn together at the crotch. And the last thing you need to do is create an elastic waistband. Put some elastic in the waistband. So I sewed my elastic together. And then I put a marker, a little tag where the back of my tights are so I know the back. And then I sewed the waistband into the waist. And now my tights are complete. Now I'm going to create stirrups on the bottom of the tights. So I just sewed elastic to the ankles to create a stirrup so my foot will slide through and the tights will stay down in place. Next, I'm creating a boot using just a sock, my size sock. I'm going to cut out fabric slightly bigger than my sock so that I can sew a faux boot. Kind of like making Spider-Man boots, Spider-Man socks. That same idea, using that same method. After the sock is sewn complete, the boot is sewn, I add elastic to the top. So I'm just stretching elastic along the top. Then I fold it over and close the hem, the seam. And when the elastic is in place, that's all done. Now on to the Superman logo, my Val Zod logo. I cut out my logo and traced it onto cardstock and then transferred that onto EVA foam. So right now I'm using an xacto knife to prep my pattern. And once that's done, I trace it onto EVA foam and cut it out. You need to cut out 2 of the basic shape. Next, I'm tracing the inside of the design onto this EVA foam, and I'm going to cut that out with my X-Acto knife. Make sure your blade on your X-Acto knife is sharp and you'll get a good clean cut. Those cuts need to be precise. When that's done, I'm going to take my vinyl foil transfer, trace and cut it out, and then lay that on top of my EVA foam. So that gives me that silver Val Zod design. I peel off the adhesive backing and I lay the EVA foam onto the vinyl. And I'm using this vinyl tool. It's like it's, I don't know, it's a scraper or scalpel, a spatula, whatever it's called. I use that to make sure it sticks to the EVA foam and it's all pressed down. And I'm trimming off the extra. And that gives me that nice chrome silver finish. Now I'm going to glue this onto top of the other EVA foam with contact cement, and that will complete my Val Zod Superman design. Just using that squeegee one more time to make sure it's all good, and I repeat the same process for the wrist. And here it is, all finished. And now to attach the wrist armor to my wrist, I'm just using Velcro and contact cement. And I put those pieces into place so that I can wear the armor on my wrist. And now I'm putting Velcro on the back of the chest logo and pressing that into place on the top. So now I can Velcro the logo onto the chest and take it off when I need to wash the top. And the last thing I'm doing is using the same method of EVA foam and the vinyl and creating the belt. And I used Velcro to attach the belt to the top as well, just like I did the chest piece. And the final cosplay looks like this. And there you have it, Val Zod Superman Earth 2. I hope you enjoyed this build. I hope this video will help you create your own Superman Val Zod cosplay. Leave me a comment and let me know how you did. If you like this tutorial, hit that like button, give me that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video or tutorial. And I'll see you next time. Always remember, adventure awaits. So get out into the world and explore. Peace.